Almost went to sleep with my teeth whitening still on and worried that the teeth is gonna look like Ross. Will I die if I sleep while whitening my teeth? Well, most definitely not. Hello, I'm Dr. Panos from Brighton Implant Clinic, and I'm here to comment on some questions on the internet about tooth whitening. Let's go! Talk to a dentist about the difference between in-house teeth whitening and at-home whitening. Big difference. Home whitening, it tends to be the preferable method nowadays, simply because in-house whitening is not as effective as it used to be when it first started. So our recommendation here is home whitening. Next question. Are at-home whitening kits safe for your teeth? Home whitening kits are quite safe for your teeth, especially when provided by a dental professional. There is some checks that we do during examinations to make sure that the treatment will not cause you any problems. So as long as we are dentally fit and we are not suffering from any active dental disease, home whitening kits are quite safe. So let's see here. What are the pros of home whitening kits? This question we would have to compare something to home whitening kits, so it would be the in-surgery whitening. Home whitening is done slower and at your own pace compared to in-surgery, which is a faster method of doing whitening. Also, home whitening kits can be used after 3, 6 months or 12 months time as a top-up or maintenance treatment to maintain the level of tooth whitening. Home whitening versus dentist. Is it worth paying extra for the dentist? Does whitening damage your teeth? Actually, home whitening is what the dentist will sometimes prescribe, so we can consider them together. Is it worth paying extra for the dentist? This question probably relates to doing the whitening without the help of a professional. I would always say yes. Now, we can analyze a lot of the reasons and the problems that can happen if you don't do the whitening professionally. But in summary, I would say that during the dental examination, we do a lot of checks to make sure that whitening is a safe treatment for you. And does whitening damage your teeth? The whitening gel, which is what is used to whiten your teeth, it has very minimal effect on your teeth and is similar to having a can of a fizzy drink. Something that we all do, so in the grand scheme of things, is not something that will damage your teeth as long as it's done with care and also under the instructions of a professional. Next question. Will I die if I sleep while whitening my teeth? Well, most definitely not. Whitening and sleeping while doing home whitening is actually the preferred method, and this is what we find most of our patients prefer to do, simply because if you're doing home whitening, you would need to wear something on your teeth for 2 to 4 hours where you're not able to eat or drink during that time, and most people will find it more comfortable going to sleep. Whitening gel will act only for 2 to 4 hours, so if you go to sleep and you sleep for 6, 8 hours, after 4 hours it will stop working. Almost went to sleep with my teeth whitening still on and worried that the teeth is gonna look like Ross. Now, we shouldn't worry about this as long as we or your dentist prescribed home whitening that you can use at night. Depending on the type of gel, it can be used at night. Sometimes we might recommend to use a specific gel during the day because it is slightly stronger. So sleeping with whitening gel at night is okay, and nothing terrible will happen as long as it's the appropriate one. So we will help you and guide you on what you have to do when you're doing your home whitening. So it is okay to sleep with teeth whitening still on, as long as it's the right one. So let's see our next question. Is teeth whitening painful? So teeth whitening shouldn't be painful. There are some circumstances where we do not recommend tooth whitening because it might cause some pain. Therefore, it is important to make sure that you are dentally stable and dentally fit before starting tooth whitening. One side effect of tooth whitening, though, usually during the time of undertaking the treatment, is tooth sensitivity. We provide you a lot of instructions and some tricks and tips on how to control tooth sensitivity. It is quite expected to experience a little bit of sensitivity, and you can prepare yourself before you start whitening, but also during the treatment you can do some things to help you control this issue. So next question. How long do the effects of teeth whitening home kits last? Assuming we are discussing home whitening kit that your dentist has provided, then the effect of it should last for about 6 months at the same level, after which you might start to experience a little drop in the whitening level. At that point, it would be good to do what we call a top-up. So at the beginning of your treatment, you are undertaking tooth whitening for 2 weeks on average, sometimes 3 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks, according to what we recommend. 6 months later, you can do a top-up of 1 or 2 nights, and that should be enough to maintain the level of tooth whitening in the long term. It is also important to remember, if you would like your teeth to stay at that level, every 6 months you should be repeating the top-up. You know you're a coffee addict when you can't drink it for 48 hours after teeth whitening and you consider getting caffeine pills. Now, this is an interesting concept here. It's about diet and tooth whitening. Now, in the past, there used to be the belief that diet affects the effectiveness of tooth whitening. And there's been some studies, especially in Brazil, where they actually discovered that diet has very minimal effect to the effectiveness of tooth whitening. Tooth whitening affects the internal color of your teeth. And this is what the whitening gel is used for, to help brighten up the inside of your tooth. Food and drink that contain a lot of tannins, they can cause staining on the surface of the teeth. And visiting the hygienist or undertaking some polishing and cleaning by the dentist or the hygienist will usually help with that. And this is a common misconception, that when you're doing tooth whitening, you shouldn't have any tea or any coffee or any red wine at all. To be fair, a balanced diet should not cause you any trouble. But if you really like having a lot of cranberry juice or many cups of coffee in a day, then that might have a small effect. So a balanced diet should not have any issue with the effectiveness of tooth whitening. As I said, the treatment is safe, it's not expected to be painful, and it's one of the simplest yet more impactful aesthetic dental treatments we provide. If you have further questions or you would like to book an appointment, please contact us at the Brighton Implant Clinic. Hope to see you there.